welcome to This Day. It is Monday, January 8th, Elvis's birthday, in case you were wondering, and we want to make sure we don't miss that one, in case you wanted to celebrate, put on some Elvis music, watch an old movie, Blue Hawaii or something like that. I'm Michael Taylor. Welcome to the program. Hey, we've got a day of health for you today. We're going to start off with the MacArthur Dental Arts with Dr. Ryan Lang. He's going to be joining us, talking about their services there. And Renew Ketamine Infusion with Doctors Tanya Dahl and Justin Yannick. They're going to join us about the ketamine infusion and how it can help folks that are, having maybe a little bit of troubles and want to maybe get on a better, more uplifted path. They're going to be the ones for you to talk to about that, so stay tuned for that. Hey, we want to make sure you are staying informed. We got a great town hall coming up for you. It's going to be the town hall over at United Laguna Woods Mutual Board. They're holding theirs on Friday, January 12th, later this week at 2 p.m. And you can come out there to the Performing Arts Center at Clubhouse 3 in Room 2 and make sure you talk to them about things that are going on in the community over there in United Mutual, and anything you want to raise with the board. They'll be there, hear your questions, and maybe even give you some answers. So get out for that if you're a member over there at United Mutual. Let's take a look outside and our weather. It's going to be a cool week. We got a little bit of snow still up there on the mountain ranges out there, and it's going to be a very cool week, just basically 60s. We're not going to get above maybe 62 degrees all week, so very cool, and overnight lows in the 40s, so very winter-like for us here in Southern California. We're going to be going from mostly sunny to partly cloudy off and on for the week, but really no rain in the forecast for this week, so a nice dry week for us as we get into the middays of January. Let's take a look at our sunrise and our sunset. And we got a nice one for you. Beautiful fall kind of looking leaves here on the ground. Ben Givens sent this one in to us. Our sunrise this morning was 6:55 and our sunset was 4:55. And if you'd like to send us a photo, we'd love to see it, just like Ben sent it to us. Send it to us on email at lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. Make sure you include your name and where you took the photo, and we will put it on our sunrise and sunset segment. Okay, let's take a look at a couple of meetings, and then when we come back, we'll be talking to MacArthur Dental Arts, Dr. Ryan Lang. Stay with us.
No one deserves to be ashamed of their smile. MacArthur Dental Arts is here to bring back your confidence. We specialize in at-home personalized smile restoration through the power of dental implants and perfect fit dentures. I'm here to answer all your questions with free in-office consults or using our Laguna Woods in-home service special. Don't wait to get the secure, worry-free smile you deserve. Visit MacArthurDentalArts.com or call the number on your screen to schedule your consultation today.
Not to sound too much like the Joker, but let's put a smile on that face in 2024. And to help us do that, we're going to talk with MacArthur Dental Arts, Dr. Ryan Lang. Thanks for joining us again on the program.
Yeah, thanks for having me back.
So you guys are a full-service dentistry office, and I want to talk about some of the things you guys do there that are, with the new technology these days. I remember when I got a crown, maybe 10, 15 years ago or so, it was a plastic, temporary in there and that kind of thing, and then a week or two later, it had to come back and let's see if it fits. You guys can do that in-house now, right?
Correct, yeah. I think since the last time I visited the show, I've had some people come into the office and they're just blown away by the technology because we've gotten rid of the goopy impression materials for taking impressions, and now we have a 3D scanner that takes those impressions for us. And there's no more plastic crowns that you leave with, the temporaries. You don't have those anymore for 2 weeks. You come in, you get the tooth ready, and within 40 minutes you have a brand new tooth that's permanent. And
wow.
I think I take that for granted a lot because I just work with it every day, and when people come in and they're blown away, it always humbles me.
Yeah. Like kids who with cell phones, they don't take for granted. Like 30 years ago, nobody, it's like it's just something that's there now, right?
Yeah.
And I do remember the goopy. I do when you said that goopy, got purpley stuff. I had to chomp down on to hold that for like 5 minutes or whatever in my mouth. It popped out of there.
Yeah.
So none of that anymore. That's all gone.
Yeah, for the most part, there are instances when we need to use those impressions, but I would say 98% of our impressions are taken digitally now with just a camera that videotapes your mouth.
So you walk out that day with a permanent new crown.
Yep.
Wow.
Same day.
Wow. And what's it like learning that? What was like the learning curve of getting those machines in house? Is it just kind of overnight? Does it kind of do it itself?
There is AI technology within the machine that will look at the other teeth in your mouth, and it will propose a crown that looks like your natural tooth, and then I go in and make tweaks in the software. So there was a learning curve. It probably took, I'd say, 2 to 3 years until I got it really dialed in.
Okay.
But most people, they come in and they're just beside themselves. Like, how don't you need to take an impression of my tooth so you know what it looks like? And they're fascinated with the fact that this AI technology, you can just build a tooth in seconds, and it looks just like a natural tooth.
Okay. Now, another thing you wanted to talk about a little bit is the full arch implants. Tell me about someone who's never had that happen. What is a full arch implant in the first place, and what are you doing there that's new and different?
Yeah, so with that, it kind of falls in line with our same-day dental practice. I'm sure you've seen billboards that say get a full set of teeth in a day.
Right. You see the janky teeth on the left, in the picture, and then the really amazing ones on the right.
Yeah, this is for more extreme cases and those patients that are terrified of the dentist and haven't been in years, maybe even decades, and they just want to hit that reset button and get a fresh set of teeth that are functional. Because they've started to notice that they can't eat foods that they used to. So the way that procedure looks like is I have an anesthesiologist that comes into my office and puts you under, and then we basically place implants and the full arch, and then we load a full set of teeth onto those implants. So they're actually screwed in and permanent on that day.
Wow.
And with the technology that I have in my office, I have the ability to create all of that stuff in the office, and that's why you can leave with it in the same day.
Same day,
yeah.
Really? And you're out walking out with kind of a new mouth, basically,
exactly,
right?
Yeah.
Wow. And what are some of the reasons why someone would need a full arch kind of thing? Is it just years of decay, or is it years of neglect, or is it just sometimes there's something inherently genetically gone on within their mouth that there's something's gone wrong?
Yeah, the answer to that is kind of an all of the above answer. So it's those patients that have multiple teeth missing and really important teeth missing from the mouth. Usually periodontal disease is associated with it. People that have bone loss or recession or loose teeth. Decay, that can also play a part in it. Teeth that just are hopeless, they've gotten to the point where you can't restore them anymore. And sometimes it's a cheaper alternative to restoring every tooth in your mouth. You just hit that reset button and start over, because implants don't really collect the same type of decay. You can't get a cavity on an implant.
Yeah, which is the good news.
Yeah, so they're a little bit easier to maintain. They do still call for some maintenance. You have to come into the office. I would say 6 months to a year just to have things checked on to make sure that everything's being cleaned properly, but it's a lot easier to maintain than a full set of teeth. No more flossing.
No more flossing. Oh man, now I'm sold. I had my wisdom teeth in my uppers, and my molars never came in, but the uppers did come in, and so I had to get an extraction on that. And my dentist referred me to someone else who just pulled them out and kind of thing. But I was surprised they didn't do that in-house. But you guys do extractions in-house, right? Yeah,
I think one of the great things about being a general dentist is I can kind of have my hand in every basket, and it's for us as general dentists to decide where we want to pigeonhole our training and become professional at. And I've really taken steps towards becoming more of a surgical general dentist, and I place a lot of implants. I've done a lot of training with implants and extractions. So I think a lot of my patients are blown away about the fact that we do a lot of stuff in-house, and that I do my own extractions and that I don't refer patients out for them. Obviously, there are some extenuating circumstances where I do refer to an oral surgeon, but it's rare.
Kind of a high-end specialist of something that's going on.
Yeah.
There's a comfort level with that too, though, because I don't like being referred to a doctor I'm not familiar with.
Exactly.
So are patients appreciative of that? Hey, I'll be doing the extraction for you, kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I want patients to have the most comfortable experience that they can through dentistry, because nobody likes going to the dentist, and I've made it my personal vendetta to change the way people think about dentistry, and I want people to leave thinking, well, that wasn't so bad, and that's why I try to keep things in-house and do things myself, so it can be it's a quicker process. You're not going to one office, then coming back, then going to another office, waiting a couple weeks. It's all done, in the one visit.
And it seems like you've incorporated the technology that really kind of makes things even in a quicker process for all of the the extras that people, the crowns and the implants that people they don't realize they used to have to wait for.
Yeah, I think the advantage to technology is I can treatment plan cases before you're even in my office. So before your actual surgery day or your appointment, I can plan everything digitally. So when you're sitting in the chair, I could put a blindfold on and do the work. So
I don't want to see that. I don't want to see my dentist doing that. But I hear what you're saying, right? Because you've kind of worked it all out. You've already won the game, so to speak, before the patient even gets in the chair, because you know what approach you're going to take.
Yeah, it's great because you can plan for things that might go wrong in the procedure, so you're ready for it if it happens, and it just makes you more prepared for those procedures.
Okay. And even though we're talking about a lot of specialty stuff here, you guys are still just a regular old full-service dentistry office as well as all the other things you do, right? You do the cleanings, the x-rays, the exams, and all of that for folks.
Yeah, we do all the way from just coming in, getting your teeth cleaned and checkups to doing implant surgeries. And my office is pretty streamlined with our x-rays as well. In a general office, when you come in for your first exam, they take 20 to 22 x-rays of your teeth to get each individual tooth, where I have this stand-up x-ray unit that looks like a spaceship, and it spins around your head for 5 seconds, and it takes a picture of your entire mouth. And I can see into your sinus cavities. I can see if you have wisdom teeth. I can see where the nerve. It shows me the anatomy of your entire jaw. So it gives me a more comprehensive scope of what I'm looking at, and it's better for the patients because we're taking less x-rays. There's less radiation.
Yeah.
And they seem to be a lot more comfortable with that.
100% I would, because the last time I had my x-rays, I had the bite down that little thing, like you said, the 5 or 6 or 10, whatever, all over the place, and it's kind of beep, beep, and you have more of the giant vest.
Yeah, exactly. And
so if you guys, is that out of the office now? You don't do those kind of things anymore?
We do 4 of those x-rays, but they're a lot more comfortable because we have a very small digital sensor that just takes the 4 x-rays, so I can see in between the teeth, more on a microscopic level. And then we have the big x-ray that takes the picture of the entire teeth. So they're not completely gone, but we're limiting them, so we're not taking as many.
Okay, well, new year, maybe a new dentist in your future for MacArthur Dental Arts. I want to thank Dr. Ryan Lang for joining us again.
Thank you. Come say hi.
They will, and smile. All right, with a smile on my face, I'm going to say you're watching This Day. We'll be right back.
At Renew Ketamine Infusion, Dr. Justin Yannick and Dr. Tanya Dahl are board-certified physicians with nearly a decade of experience in ketamine therapy who can help those who haven't found success with other treatments or wish to avoid daily medications. Whether you're struggling with depression, PTSD, anxiety, or chronic pain conditions, our private spa-like clinic focuses on creating the perfect setting for your ketamine treatment. Call us today to schedule your free physician consultation to determine if ketamine therapy is recommended for you.
Welcome back to This Day. Joining me now is Dr. Justin Yannick and also Dr. Tanya Dahl with Renew Ketamine Infusion. Welcome. So nice to meet you guys.
Thank
I
you.
understand you were here about 2 months ago with Michael.
Yeah.
So I'm my first time getting to meet you. And,
Yeah, nice to meet you.
So
Thanks for having us.
basically, tell me a little bit about yourselves and your background.
Yeah, so I'm Dr. Dahl. I am born, raised in Arizona, but kind of a SoCal transplant. I had always wanted to do medicine ever since I was in 5th grade. I was so fascinated by the human body and how it all worked together. So I went to the University of Arizona, got my undergraduate degree. I trained in medicine at Georgetown University in Washington, D.C., and then I did my residency training here in SoCal at UC Irvine. And so right now I'm a board-certified emergency medicine physician who also took on a passion project working with ketamine, helping to treat patients that have conditions such as chronic pain and chronic mood disorders.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
And Justin, what about you?
Yeah, so we met in residency. So we're both, board certified ER doctors.
Okay.
I also did a pain medicine fellowship as well. And yeah, we kind of met in the middle at a time a couple of years ago where, we just saw this pretty significant subset of patients that wasn't getting relief with more of your traditional medicines, talk therapy, antidepressants, pain medicines. And wanted to create a space that can utilize the evidence-based medicine that is ketamine and deliver it in a safe, controlled way to help these patients. And so we've been doing it for a couple of years now, and yeah, it's extremely satisfying and rewarding seeing the results that we get with these patients.
When did you first hear about ketamine or first start, seeing the benefits of it?
Well, so in the emergency department, we use ketamine every single day. So
Okay.
It's widely used and well studied to be very safe. At higher doses as more of a sedative type of medication. So we've been using it in the emergency department for 7-8 years now, kind of through our entire careers. And just recently, over the past 10 or so years, there's been a lot of research that has shown that when you use ketamine at low doses, it's very safe and effective at helping to treat pain and mood conditions. And so we kind of stumbled upon a couple other physicians who were starting to use this modality to treat these patients that were really not responding to other treatments, or maybe just didn't like the side effects of some of the other treatments that they were on. And so we started to learn about the world of ketamine and its uses, and we just decided to jump in and see what we could do to help people.
So how did you then come to, we want to create our own practice and to do this? How'd that come about?
So I had been working in a pain practice for a while, and again, there was these subset of patients that just weren't getting relief with interventional techniques, epidural, spinal cord stimulators, and other pain medicines. And I knew that ketamine could be effective for these patients, but I felt like the setting was really important. So rather than giving it like in a sterile medical office with fluorescent lights and patients going in and out, we wanted to create a space where it was just one patient, a spa-like environment to optimize the setting and kind of take the playbook from other traditional psychedelic medicines and really create a therapeutic environment so they can get the most from the medicine itself. And so when they come into our clinic, it's just a medical provider, a nurse, and them, and they have the time they need to kind of heal through the medicine.
I like that, the healing through the medicine. I like that. So recently, it was released that the actor Matthew Perry died from ketamine, and so technically he drowned, but they're saying he had ketamine in his system. So what can you say, further regarding the case and the safety about ketamine and?
Yeah, so ketamine, like I said, has been well studied and researched to be very, very safe. But like I also mentioned, it's all about the dose and also the setting that you're using it in. So at a high dose, you can get sedative effects, and it's been reported that the amount of ketamine in a system was over 18 times what is the safe amount to use.
All right.
And so we're using a very, very low dose in our clinic as an IV infusion, so it's infused very slowly. And so that is safe, and that's not causing the sedative effects that unfortunately I think he experienced. Also very safe to remember, you want to use it in a controlled setting. So when you come into our clinic, it's a provider, it's a registered nurse, and it's the patient, and we have eyes on that patient at all times. We're watching their breathing. We're watching our continuous pulse oximeter, which tracks their oxygen levels, their pulse. We're making sure that they're having a really good experience and not having any sort of dangerous effects. So always using it in a controlled setting, using it at a place like our clinic, which is very safe, but never using it in, especially when you're swimming or you're by yourself. Those are when you start to get into more riskier situations.
Okay, and so is it something like, I take an Advil and it lasts for 8 hours. So how does the pain management work with the ketamine?
Yeah, so I mean, I think that's actually a really interesting question. So the ketamine in your system will maybe be measurable for 4 to 6 hours after the infusion is done. So the ketamine leaves your system, but the chain events that happen from the ketamine can last days, weeks, months, and even a lifetime, really. And so what happens is it leads to something called neuroplasticity. It acts on receptors in your brain that lead to new nerve cells growing, increased efficiency of neural connections. And so when it comes to things like chronic pain, it basically allows your brain and your spinal cord to process pain signals in a different way. Oftentimes patients with chronic pain, decades of chronic pain, they're hyper aware of their pain source. If you've got chronic low back pain, consciously, hours of the day, all you're thinking about is your low back pain. And what the ketamine allows your brain to do, and also your conscious mind to do, is to reprocess those signals in a different way. And whether the ketamine's in your system or not, it just takes that initial trigger combined with therapy, psychotherapy, physical therapy, things like that, to kind of reprogram the brain to not care so much about the signals in the low back, in the knee, things like that.
Interesting, very interesting. Are there any other side effects or dangers of using it for a long time?
Yeah, so I mean, I'll take that. So we don't typically use it for a long time.
Okay.
That's the beauty of ketamine, is that this is not meant to be a medicine that you are using for years. It is very much meant to be a very fixed period of time where we do 6 infusions over a 2 to 3 week period, and then occasionally we'll taper off where we'll do maybe monthly, every 2 months, but that's not the common technique. It's usually the 6 infusions, and then you're done. And that's really the idea, and that's where all the peer-reviewed evidence has kind of shown the real power of ketamine is rather than being a constant medicine that you have to take that either doesn't work but also reminds you that you're broken, this medicine really gives your body the power to heal internally and then be done.
So are we thinking, in Matthew Perry's case, are we thinking he was doing it himself, self-medicating, like maybe not under a doctor's care?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard to speculate, of course, but I think that that's probably the case because well-trained providers and physicians such as us would not administer ketamine in that sort of a dose to somebody because we're obviously well aware of the sedative effects. Also important to mention that you don't want to mix ketamine necessarily with other medications. So buprenorphine is a very strong opiate medication, and so that can cause sedation. High-dose ketamine can cause sedation, and that's just kind of the perfect recipe for disaster.
Wow. Oh, such a shame. Who would you recommend ketamine for, and who shouldn't get it?
Yeah, so I mean, patients that would be candidates are people that have either tried and failed other medicines where like they're not working from mood disorders or chronic pain disorders, or are currently getting some therapeutic benefit, but they're having side effects from their medicines, whether that's weight gain, changes in sexual libido, cognition, brain fog, that type of thing. Those are the patients that will typically come to us to try a different way to see if they can either get off their medicines or get control of their symptoms. There's some absolute contraindications to ketamine use. That's if you have seizure disorder. So if you've had seizures in the past, because it can lower your seizure threshold, absolutely no to ketamine. If you have a history of schizophrenia or psychosis, absolutely no to ketamine. And then certain cardiac arrhythmias like AFib, A-flutter, if they're not controlled, then those would be kind of relative contraindications. But other than that, everything really is up to the discretion of the patient, us, and then other patients' medical providers to determine if this would be safe for you. But the beauty of ketamine is its safety. It was developed to be used in a setting where you really didn't have to measure their respiratory drive and their cardiovascular output. We still do that to be safe, but that's kind of what's so nice about it, is how safe it is.
What else would you say is like the best benefit of using it that has come out of discovering this?
The best benefit, I mean, there's a lot of benefits. Obviously, it works really, really well. So we're treating patients that maybe have tried 5, 6, 7 antidepressants in the past with no relief, and up to 80% of those people are now finding relief. So that's a huge, huge kind of weight that can be lifted off of people. And so it has that benefit. Another very interesting benefit is sometimes when you're getting your ketamine infusion, you can almost feel like you're in kind of a lucid dream. And so what can happen is you can actually find inspiration in things that you haven't really thought of before. So we have a lot of patients that we treat that are actually very creative type of people, musicians, authors, and they come out and it's just like this light bulb goes off and they have all these great ideas and they're writing new music. And so it has so many great benefits.
I think one thing to add to
side effect.
one thing to add to that too is the speed with which it works. A lot of traditional antidepressants or other medicines like that, they say 6 to 8 weeks before we can assess if this is working, and then they dose up. Ketamine, truly within minutes you can start to feel the effects, and within hours you kind of have a sense, is this working for me or not?
Wow.
So it's not something that you have to wait months for, and so especially for people that are really suffering, it's something that can provide them with relief immediately.
Oh, well, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for being here
Yeah,
today.
thank you for having us. We
thanks for
appreciate it.
having us.
If you would like to schedule a free consultation with Renew Ketamine Infusion, contact them through their website at renewketamineinfusion.com or call them at 949-503-1414. Stay with us. We'll have more of This Day right after this.
Looking for a change of scenery? You don't have to play golf to enjoy all that 19 Restaurant and Lounge has to offer. From a delicious breakfast menu to our delectable lunch and dinner specials. At 19 Restaurant and Lounge, there is something for everyone. Relax with your friends and family and take in the beautiful view from our spacious patio. Or enjoy a cocktail and appetizer in our lounge. 19 Restaurant and Lounge is a great place to socialize, enjoy a meal, or simply take in the view. Join us 7 days a week and experience Laguna Woods' exclusive dining experience.
And welcome back. Before we head out, we want to talk about our Monday movie, and it is a great one. It is Road to Perdition with Tom Hanks and Paul Newman. It's brought to us by Harvard Eye Associates, and it's going to be at 2 p.m. with the subtitles and 6 p.m. without the subtitles. Terrific movie. It's a mob enforcer's son in 1930s Illinois witnesses a murder, forcing him and his father to take to the road and his father down a path of redemption and revenge. It's directed by Sam Mendes. It's a great movie. I think it was back in 2002 when it came out. Just kind of a cut above most of the kind of mob type movies or gangster type movies. Really a great father-son story and a very interesting dynamic between Paul Newman and Tom Hanks in this one. So make sure you check that one out if you get the chance to today. Let's take a look outside at our weather one more time before we head out for the day. It's going to be pretty cool temperatures, but no rain in the forecast, which is nice. We're just going to have mostly sunny skies today in the next few days, in the low 60s for really the rest of the week, and we'll get a little partly cloudy by the end of the week, but like I said, no rain in the forecast. Really nice temperatures, very cool overnights. Bring those jackets and enjoy the rest of the day. That's going to do it for this edition of This Day. Tomorrow on the program, we have Caring for Senior Service and the Democratic Club are going to be joining us, so make sure you stay tuned for that. That's going to do it for us. For all of us here at Village Television, we hope you make this day a great one.